So here I am getting ready for the first race. Well, I missed the first race. My first race of the year is this coming up Friday. It's Monday at the end of the day, and I've got finally a running car, but I don't trust it. It's got me shook. I can't. I've had so many things go wrong this spring that I'm scared to drive it. Let me show you what I've been through, what I've gotten, and what I'm about to try this Friday. Now this is actually my second motor of 2025, and I've driven the car about, I'm gonna say, 20 miles. So that's a bit of a bad deal. What happened, I started out the year getting the car ready, and all I was going to do was change the converter and change the shocks. I put 3500 stall converter and Calvert 9010s in the front, Calvert 9-way adjustables in the back. That was going to be the only changes for the year. And well, crap happens, and now I've got a different engine in there. So after I got my converter in, got my shocks on, got everything lined out the way I wanted it to be for the entire season, fired the car up, sat here idling, first basically warm up in preparation to take it for a drive, and it died. No big deal. I'll fire it back up. Fired it up, no spark. Fiddled around, troubleshot the ignition, and the ignition was working perfectly. What I tracked it down to was the frickin' distributor wasn't turning. Everybody knows that ain't good. So what I ended up doing, I don't know how, I don't know why, but my timing chain broke. As dumb as that sounds, yes, my timing chain in my 360 Magnum with aluminum LA heads, the timing chain broke, bent a couple valves. I replaced the timing chain just on faint hope that it might be okay, but I was down to like zero compression on 3 holes, so I bent a couple valves, and we'll get back to that engine at some point, but I ain't worried about that right now. So now what we have is this. This is a 421 stroker. It's a 4030 bore, 4.125 stroke in a 75 360 block. It's got ported X heads, and it's got like custom forged dished pistons. They're not very high compression. I had to use my same Torker 2340 intake and my same 1 5/8 headers. So with this big old engine, it might not be able to breathe as much as it would like to. At least through those headers are going to be an issue for it. But anyway, that's what we've got. I've got my 750 quick fuel double pumper that I had on my other engine is on this one currently. I seem to have it at least roughed in really nice. It's running pretty good for the little wee bit that I drove it. But here's the next funny thing. You would not believe what happened the first time I drove it with the 421. I was driving around town a little bit, and the car's loud. These Flowmaster 40s, they were decent when I first put them on, but after I think it's been 2 seasons, I think they're pretty much blown right out. They're really quite loud. And what the reason I mention that is because I obviously had a growling bearing in my water pump that I didn't hear over the exhaust. Because check this out. That's right. My frickin' shaft on my water pump broke. And of course, it sent the fan blades into the radiator and buggered that whole thing up now on me too. Fortunately, with the parts that I got with my recent race car purchase, that's actually where the 421 came from. I had a spare 26-inch A-body radiator, which thank goodness for that. And I had, well, my water pump off my other engine. I put on this engine, and we're back, we're running, we're good to go. We're getting ready to tee it up to set the timing and do a few things like that in preparation for race day. Now I dropped a couple bucks on this MSD timing light because I don't know, I struggled to believe the numbers that I was getting with my other light. I mean, it was saying that it didn't want to idle at less than 40 degrees initial, and I'm like, no freaking way. It cannot be. So you know what? MSD ignition is supposed to have this kind of timing light to read the multiple sparks. So I got that. Now I'm just gonna fire this thing up. I'm gonna warm it up, and we'll see where the timing is at. I mean, it seems like it should be in the ballpark. I basically got 10 degrees mechanical advance in my distributor, and I'm going to start out and I'm going to put, like, let's say 22 and 32, and we'll go from there, and we'll sneak up on it a little bit until the total timing is where we want it. But that's going to be my first thing. I'm going to get this thing started and warmed up, and let's see where she's at. So that looks okay. I'm going to lock her down like right there at 22, which should be bring me out to about 32 as a total mechanical. And that's a real good place to start with most small block Mopars I've ever had anything to do with. Hopefully I'll, squeak it up a little bit, but what I'll do is I'll keep going up with the total until I stop seeing an improvement in mile an hour. And that's the way that I've been told to do it, and that's the way that it kind of seems to work for me. So we're gonna leave it as it is for now. I mean, I got to take it for a little test drive. Actually, I gotta run the valve lash adjustment. I did it. It's still a little noisier than I would like it to be, so I'm gonna go ahead and use the good old Mopar Performance valve adjustment chart. And I'll set it for my setting the way they tell you to do it in that Mopar chart. And if that ain't good, I don't know what's going to be. Get that done, and I think we should be ready for a test drive. So there we go. Motor's back together. Double checked my valve lash, and I'm glad I did because I'm not sure what I did wrong last time, but there was a couple that were way freaking loose, and that was the noise I was hearing. So hopefully that'll be nice and quiet and ready to rip. I'm going to take it for a test drive tomorrow. But the only other thing that I did was I put my Nitto drag radials back on. Hopefully everything that I learned about making them stick last year will help me out again. Just the way things are going, and the damn Liberals in Canada, I just decided, at least so far, I'm not buying another set of drag radials quite yet. But I guess we'll see how they're going to work for us with all this extra power. So that's it. I've got new converter, new shocks, new motor. I'm going to say, just as a guess, I'm going to say I probably got 100 horsepower more than I had last year. It's a 421 instead of a 360. It's got a quite a bit more aggressive, solid flat tappet cam, and like the rest of the car is the same. Transmission, differential, everything else is the same. So I'm really anxious to get out, test it, see what I'm going to do. I'm not going to put a number on what I think it might run because it would only be a shit-ass guess anyway. So, I don't know, last year was 1336 was the best I could do. This year, new converter, way better shocks, quite a bit more horsepower. Leave a guess in the comments. Tell me what you think I'm going to run mile an hour and ET. Like I say, last year 1336 at 104, and we'll see what we can do. Thanks for watching.